Okay, so I'll start the recording. So welcome to this 3rd of February 2023. Now we've got team two, and we're going to hand you over now to Mark, who's going to see what they've got. Good luck, Mark, and the team.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for choosing Mad Dog Constructions. As you're well aware, we're here today to discuss the Bramley Road project. And I'll start off with introducing myself. My name is Mark, and I'm the project manager. And this company was formed about 15 years ago. I've got a background in project management, including major national sporting events, music concerts, and national events, like the Queen's Lion in State and the impending King's coronation. I'll hand over now to my colleague.
My name's Sam Armstrong. I am a site manager. I've been in the industry about 15 years now. I started off as a building surveyor before I sold my soul to the main contractor side. Worked on multiple complex projects, high-rise, commercial and residential in city centres and in rural lands. I'll hand over now to Nick.
Thanks, Sam. So I've been working as an assistant site manager for a few years now, learning the tricks from Sam. Hopefully he shows me the right ways and what to do. My background before was commercial offices and building fit outs, and I'll pass it on to Ralph.
Hi, I'm Raul Socaccio. I've been in the industry for about 26 years. I came up through the ranks all the way to assistant project manager.
Hi, my name is Vasily Murisen. I'm a health and safety officer. I'll represent health and safety on site and point at any issues that is down to health and safety. That will be me. Pass on to sexy nurse Tom Haddock.
Hello everyone, my name's Tom Madden, ex-military combat nurse. I'm been involved with a lot of demolition projects around the world, including Iraq and Afghanistan. Just for people who don't know, the acronym for SEXY is Safety Executive Ex-Military and Your First Aid.
Thank you very much for the introduction. So the project is located on the outskirts of Bramley. As we see on the map, the existing factory is a 2-storey factory building. It's brick built, and there is an asbestos cement sheet roof with a 10.5 metre ridge height. The building was constructed in the 1950s and used as a steel mill until 2006. There's no health and safety file for the factory building, and we will be reusing the existing car park belonging to Concept Safety adjacent to the site, and have come to agreement to occupy 50% of the spaces for site access. We have completed preliminary ground testing and received information of contaminated soil around the demolition site and Japanese knotweed adjacent to the site as well. The presentation here relates to the phase involving the demolition of the factory, removal of asbestos, removal of Japanese knotweed, and the site setup and measures that will be put in place to achieve the objective safely. To Nick, regarding the site plan.
So I'll be going through with the site map and the site layout for everyone here. So as you can see, we have the hoarding around the entire site here that protects and restricts any unauthorized access. We have set up a direction of vehicle access. So we've requested all vehicles heading in an easterly direction. So if they're coming down here along Bramley Road, they do a U-turn at the roundabout and come in via Holt Arch Road to our dedicated vehicle access. And there's also, once they come in here, we have a dedicated turning bay and separated pedestrian and vehicle areas with these yellow barriers. We have also set up a dedicated pedestrian access from the short stay car park, which we have requested permission from the local authority to turn into a long stay temporary car park. We've implemented temporary pedestrian crossings at both road crossings for staff to get to and from work, and they will enter here through a separated pedestrian access. We have refueling stations for all vehicles on site with spill kits and fire extinguishers located nearby. And we have also retained. We've only utilised half the existing car park, so existing office is able to still use half their car space, and we retain both disabled car spots. In terms of on-site on-site cabins. We've gone for 3 triple stacks and a separate first aid shelter cabin. On any given day, we'll between no less than 50 staff on site and up to 50 during the construction phase. All sheds will be generator fed during demolition, and once a permanent supply is installed, they will then be changed over. Site sewage will be temporarily connected to effluent tanks until a permanent connection to be made to the foul drains and sewers. The containers will consist of the following. Ground level will be toilets, showers, washing facilities. The first level will be rest area and dining area. The second level will be the site offices for managers. A security cabin is situated at the main pedestrian access here in pink. That will be for security and site inductions before staff come on site. It'll also serve for any vehicle inductions as well. There's a smoking area set up in the southwest corner. That is a designated smoking area and mobile phone usage area for all staff. We also have the cost storage up on the northwest corner. That is situated there as far away from possible from any staff to maintain safety. Next to that, we have our mechanical and electrical storage area, drinking water, fire extinguisher as well. And then over to the right, we have a general material storage. And we also have a material drop-off area within the vehicle loading areas. We've also implemented the waste disposal to be here as well to allow for easy pickup for vehicles. And then first aid. The first aid will be on the ground floor over here, and there will be nurse call stations with every fire alarm station to allow for any issues. And I'll pass this on to Tom.
Yeah, sorry, Nick, I think you covered my area there. I think we're going over to the site security now with Mark.
Site security is going to be managed on a proactive and a reactive security methodology. That will be employed to protect the site. We'll have smart turnstiles for pedestrian access to the site, which has facial recognition. We also use a wristband that will be allocated upon induction, and that will be placed through the hoop on high vis, and they'll be color coded. It gives easy access, easy sight, easy vision to know who has been inducted, and these colors change to know if someone is not authorized to actually be on site or has actually breached security. They're not working. Site access will be a digital and smart basis. A badge will be issued on induction that registers entry on and off the site, managing health and safety for all personnel working on the site should there be an evacuation. We'll have 24-hour live viewing CCTV. The cameras are shown in green on the map, and these will be monitored by an external security company. And the security operatives must use hourly fob checkpoint systems between the hours of 5 p.m. and 8 o'clock in the morning when the site is closed. And as shown and discussed by Nick, the perimeter hoarding, that's at a height of 2.5 meters to frustrate any efforts to breach the site and to maintain security. I'll hand over now to Raoul.
Oh, give me a sec.
It is around emergency procedures and arrangements.
Yeah. So we have a fire plan. Fire marshal duties will always be performed by the duty site manager. We have 2 audible warning signals. The first signify standby, the second signifies evacuate. Evacuation will be through the main door to the short stay car park, which is our assembly point on the ground floor. Well, primary exit will be via the main pedestrian entrance. We've also provided contingency should the fire be in our way or prevent or block the fire escape route. We have a green break glass in the perimeter hoarding. Site security will bring sign-in, sign-out sheets in order that all staff are accounted for. Now we have fire trolleys located as per map by the fueling station and site cabins and as per map. And we have fire extinguishers in the welfare and office area. Now, accident plan. For the accident plan, we have all site supervisors and site managers qualified in FAAW. Minor injuries, supervisor be notified and injured party to attend on-site first aid. Major injuries to activate fire trolley alarm and attend in situation by on-site first aider, with next course of action to be determined with severity. Emergency situation, ambulances to enter by a main vehicle access point of Old Arch Road, all traffic marshals to assist with traffic management. We have proposed a landing point for a helicopter as north on the site in the park of Old Arch Road. Now for spills, we have a spill kit. It's located adjacent to the refueling station. A competent person to use when will be managed, supervised by a traffic marshal, surrounding the. What am I? No, I'm.
I think the other emergency procedures that you considered were about cable strikes, explosions, plane crashes, chemical spills.
That's where we are. Yeah.
Environmental
protest, gas leak, terrorism, power failure, structural collapse, flood, hurricane, poisoning.
Thank you. And then Vasily, we've had 10 minutes and he's going to talk about safe system of work.
Right. The safe system of work in our site, we will have to report any near misses. We're going to have an accident book, but we're going to take very serious the near miss because this will be before it actually happens. So we're trying to minimize an accident by seeing what actually potentially could happen in real life. In the site map, we will site map will show with the fire assembly points where is the fire assembly point, but also show fire extinguishers and locations in case of any fire, you know where to go. That's also we're gonna cover in the site induction. Myself and all the management team, as you can see, we got a fire marshal training in case of fire, so we all know how to act. At least we do, and we're gonna guide most of other guys on site. All workers, including the agency, will be treated the same. That is for avoiding any non-diversity on site. All the risk assessments and everything, all the risk on site, that is being covered on the risk assessment sheets attached to the method statement and into the method statement as well. What else? Method statement and risk assessment.
Thank you. Can we move on to the traffic management plan with Sam, please?
Yep, that'll be fine.
Yep.
Right. Net here is just all right to pull that up.
Yeah, she's up now. Should be.
Don't worry if not. I'll take over and screen share if you want.
Yeah, if you want. My sorry, we have to. My signal might have gone bad.
Right. Okay. Unfortunately, guys, I'll just be talking you through this as we go. Okay. So we'll have the main road is currently 70 miles an hour. We have requested it to be reduced to 30 miles per hour approaching the site. The speed limit has been mandated within the 5 miles per hour and is to be monitored by the traffic marshals. And this will be a strict yellow-red card system in operation due to the dumper trucks as it is a demolition project. Temporary pedestrian crossings have been installed on Bramley Road, as have been previously mentioned. Temporary crossings for members of the public and staff accessing the offices to the northeast will be installed as per the site map. The Highways Authority have approved this for the temporary pedestrian crossings. This will be managed and supervised by a traffic marshal. Hoarding surrounding the existing car park to the east and south will prevent any staff cutting across the staff car park where we may have vehicles coming in and out. All vehicles to access on Bramley Road with the use of the turning circle and down Holt Arch Road. Following traffic management control from there on, this will ease congestion in the locality. The vehicle cleaning bay will be existent. It will be located within the existing car park, as we are expected to have a lot of dust, which could be dragged off site. And also with the turning circle, this will implement the one-way vehicle direction within site to minimize people coming into contact with moving plants. I'm going to carry on talking now about document control. So all documents will be required to be submitted by Mad Dog Construction app. So this will be a live app that goes on, and this will be available to anyone on site. Everything will be backed up onto drives. All subcontractors must apply for access and complete required forms and permits before works can commence. These will include the following: pre-induction details, pre-construction plan, construction phase plan, site safety folder, isolation permit register, a site waste management plan, hot works permits, permits to break ground, asbestos register, RAMS folders, COSH folders, an induction folder, and also on the board in the management boards, we will ask people to submit daily plant checklists, pure registers, fuel registers, Lola certs for any scissor lifts on site, and we'll also be displaying the emergency evacuation plan, as was just discussed previously by Raoul. Moving on to welfare, as you can see, we're just talking about the demolition process here, but during construction, we could have up to 70 men on site. So there will be 16 toilets on site in the 2 cabins on the ground floor. On the 3rd cabin, we'll have a separate female toilet, and including in this will be a shower. We will have 4 basins per cabin, which will include soap, hand barrier cream, and this will also fall under the welfare regulations. We will provide sun cream, as it will be quite a lot of work outdoors. This will be available from any of the management suites or the canteens. The lunch is to be consumed in break room cabins with staggered lunch breaks when required, due to the amount we have on site. We will have in each cabin a fridge, 2 microwaves, 2 hot water boilers, zip taps if you will, and the changing room, drying rooms will be based on the ground floor with the toilets, bathrooms if you will, and then all the management offices will be on the top floor. Simple reason why the toilets are on the ground floor is because we will be pumping the waste directly into a foul drain, and also the cabins are next to each other, so we only have one location for the main services, well, from the generator to display. I will just hand you over now to Raoul, who will talk you through the site signage.
He's on mute.
Right.
We can't hear him, but he's
Right,
with 11 minutes to go. But I'll run through it. F10 displayed at both entrances. Insurance is displayed at both entrances too, including public liability. Health and safety at work poster at both entrances, and notification of asbestos removal in progress at both entrances too. And the PPE requirement sign will clearly be displayed. So about 11 minutes ago, I'll just run through the site rules. Tidy site. We don't want anything blowing around, compromising any of our equipment, or blowing out into the community and polluting the community. Wristbands to be worn as per the induction, like I explained, and be clearly visible, and that's a personal responsibility to replace, and they'll be changed every month. 5-point PPE, no private vehicles onto the site, site induction must take place, and all vehicles must be authorised to enter the site and clearly display a permit. We've got about 22 on there. I'll run through: no smoking and vaping in designated area, and we're using QR code stickers for near misses and accidents, and these will be stuck on all hard hats upon inductions and to remain in situ. Again, personal responsibility to replace should this become damaged. So I'll leave that at that point at the moment, but can clarify any other site rules in follow-up questions later. So about 10 minutes to go for Vasily to talk us through induction procedure and checklist, please.
Okay, induction procedure. The induction will take place in induction room nearby the site office, which will be accessible with 3PP, will be blue zone. We call it blue zone. Mark will be the site manager who is gonna do the site induction for any new arrivals. Site induction is from 8 to 9 strictly, Monday to Friday. Anyone arrive late than 8 and is not gonna be present from beginning of the induction will be excluded and will have to attend the day after. On the site induction, we will check the competence for the people arrive on site. So if it's a skilled worker, then the NSS the cars will be checked, and if it's any plant operator, also the car will be checked, and they will have to have a valid medical test as well. To make sure every single candidate is understanding the site rules, we introduce a basic induction test at the end of the induction procedure to make sure that everyone understands site rules. The site map and appointed person will also be presented in the induction to make sure the new arrival, they know everyone on site who is appointed person for what, in case they need to approach anything for whatever reason. I already mentioned where is the blue zone and then a rest area for a cigarette. There is a free PPE and is located by the site office.
I think that's more or less covered our site induction.
Yes.
So I think we shall move on to Tom for permissions and notifications.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Cheers. As we've been made aware, we'll be using the existing car park. We've actually reduced that down, but we've kept the disabled spaces. We've actually managed to acquire a permit to extend the short stay car park into a long stay car park. It's located to the southwest of the site map. The application has been processed, and it's actually £9 per person for 12 months. With the Bromley Road being 70 miles an hour, we've been granted permission to reduce the vehicle speed along Bromley Road from the national speed limit down to 30 miles per hour. This reduces the risks to pedestrians and crossings, safeguard members of the public, workers, visitors, the client office and general community and members of public. We also have permission from the highway agency to install a zebra crossing across Bromley Road. Along with the reduced speed limit, this will ensure the additional protection to anyone coming to site from the new long stay car park. This phase of the project will be protecting the beech tree with a perimeter fence. For any future phases of the project, a TPO check will have to be carried out. We also want to make note there that the location of the airport has been noted. This does not impact on this phase of the project, but this will be reviewed particularly should a crane be required to operate on the site. Just want to go over to the mental health policy. With the suicide rate increasing in the UK, it's something as a company we take very seriously. There will be an employee assistance program set up with a notification given on all inductions and signage in all break rooms to notify everyone of the program. The program will be free of charge, and we encourage, it's our good talk policy, basically. Basically, we'll provide monthly guest speakers. Again, this is all free of charge. People come to site, sharing experiences. And like I say, it's good to talk. So we encourage everyone to do that, like an open door policy, again, where everyone can feel free to come and speak to us. And obviously, like I say, everyone on site, if anyone feeling the stresses or depression, then like I say, it's good to talk.
As Tom said, you can approach us. We are all trained mental health first aiders, and we have all done the relevant course and got the qualifications for that also.
Thank you. Funny, I've just actually had an email come through from SEP, and they're going to be employed to do the inductions and the security, and they're going to make it site specific. They've confirmed that now, and the induction process will be fluid First day of work, that will be Monday 8 o'clock, but any new individuals or people turning up in vehicles, they will be inducted there and then. So it will be fluid, and that will cover site access rules, expectations, emergency requirements, and the traffic management plans. Just covering other matters that we're putting in place is a good safe policy on induction. Every inductee is issued with a sticker and the QR code, like I mentioned. I won't go over that again at the moment. Looking and mindful of our environmental impact, and we're looking to replanting the removed hedges that run north to south, and we're looking to do that within the local area as agreed with the local authority. Recycling initiatives on site. The site will offer recycling bins around areas of high congregation, such as the canteen. We're looking at reducing our carbon footprint, employing 40% of the workforce within a 3-mile radius. And we're looking to do site reinductions at regular monthly intervals to ensure site compliance and to manage security. And that's where the new colour-coded wristbands that are put onto the high vises will be issued to signify reinduction. It manages and declares the ever-changing environment and hazards within the site, and further safeguards all individuals. The community engagement and media strategy we have in place to offset any disruption that we may be causing on site in the locality. The initiatives will include litter picking around the area of the site, be roads, pavements and green areas, and looking to repair. You can see on the map by the river, there's a fence that's damaged, and that's signified in red, and we'll be taking it upon ourselves to repair that fencing to improve the look of the area, and obviously to prevent anyone getting into that area, maybe getting into trouble by the water. We will ensure that all key milestones and activity will be publicised, and we will have direct engagement with our neighbours at the industrial unit in South Industrial Estate, and also our very close neighbours directly next door at the cafe, which our employees will be looking to use on a daily basis. We're also looking to introduce an incentivisation. This will be implemented to acknowledge employee or to bring in employee reward programs, identifying hazards and being safe at work. Looking across the rest of the team, is there anything else within that we feel like
I'll just add on, Mark, just from what you were saying then, part of all the community engagement and things we'll be doing, we are going to be part of the Consider It Constructors scheme. So they will be coming out, so we'll be going out if we need to, if the community needs anything, litter picking, anything like that. We'll be doing point of work risk assessments for any of our labour on site, and we can provide any services within limit to the community.
Okay, thank you. I think that's everything from our side, and I'd like to invite questions from you good selves.
And as traditional, let's give it a round of applause. Come on, guys. 27 minutes, 45 seconds. Nice timing, that. Nice timing. Right, okay, could we invite the first question then, please?
Hi, I'm Stevie. I'm one of the directors of the company that you represent. It's a big undertaking to have taken on the role of health and safety officer, Vasily. Could you tell me what qualifications you have to go through to be an HSE officer on site?
NEBOSH.
NEBOSH. What is exactly NEBOSH? Forgive me for asking. It's just about out of my depth.
It's the National Examination Board of Safety and Health.
Got it?
Yeah. I was just wondering if anyone in the other team could elaborate a little bit more on what the qualification has to be a health and safety officer. What training do you have, experience? Well, I see you're responsible for a lot of guys on the site on my behalf. I'd like to just get a little bit feel about what qualifications you actually need to do.
So
it's minimum NEBOSH, which is National Diploma
Examination Board of Safety and Health.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, boys. Thanks.
Good question, Steve, to be fair. Good question.
I just thought I'd ride on.
He needs to come back with something. I knew that.
This can be for anyone. Where will the health and safety law poster be displayed?
It will be displayed in the canteen on the management board, and it will also be displayed in the offices. Gents, can I just ask everyone, if you're not asking questions or speaking, that you are muted, just to no background noise.
Can I ask you a question on skips?
Yes.
Sam? How many skips you got on site?
Okay. So,
so
during this demolition process, we'll have one skip, and that will just be for certain mixed waste. Due to the amount of demolition coming down, it will be going straight into the dumpers, which will be getting taken straight off site. We don't want to be piling waste high, as it will create more dust, and it will also be an eyesore and also for health and safety. Obviously, during the future phases, we will have more skips on site, plasterboard, etc.
So you're not going to segregate any of the waste coming out of demolition?
No, because of the asbestos.
The asbestos would be removed prior to demolition, I assume.
Yeah.
But also you're pushing the cost of the project up, which is going to send all the waste away in skips. If you segregate
get a crusher in to reuse some of the rubble.
Yeah, you break down the hardcore, you get the whole hardcore taken away, you can get the rebar and any steels recycled, as well as any hazardous materials that may come out that's not just asbestos. You know, you've got plasterboard, for example.
So anything during the initial hardcore will be taken away and will be separated off-site. I find if we can get that taken off-site and it's conducted by the correct licensed management company, then it reduces the risk of anything further activities we need to do on site.
Fair enough.
Repeat my question, could you not actually recycle the rubble that you're taking down off site and on site crush it and use it as backfill for roads and whatever implications you've got, instead of having another costing for removal of if it's just going to be pure rubble? I can't see where you can just crush it on site and then reuse it. Is that something that would be cost effective to the project?
It won't be. I don't want to be cost effective to the project, as we don't have a specification of what the actual build of the project will be yet. This is
just for your temporary roads and that. I'd maybe look into something like that for reusing it if it's coming off.
We don't have it.
It's a lot of cost to us ourselves. Like if they recycle some of the materials, it would be good for images.
The temporary roads are going to be in place before we start the demolition, though, so we won't be able to use any of those materials on the temporary roads because they'll all be in place.
It's just pedestrian crossings which we're putting in as we need to implement, and we've got to use the existing site entrances and exits, and that was part of our scope.
One-way system. What are these roads correct? Is this just pure mudges are driving over? Well, your access roads to around the site, your turning circle, and then.
No, so
it not be nice to have a one-way system up to each road,
around the site. We will be, prior to anything, we'll be putting type 1 hardcore down, compacted around.
Yeah, well, let's go back to any recycled material for your downtaking.
But we have an existing car park. We have an existing car park that's in the centre of the map underneath the fuel station.
No, it's just I was just big on the recycling thing myself, like so as a company. But I'll leave it to you guys. Thank you.
I've got another question, if you don't mind me asking. Did I hear you say that you're using the fire alarm for emergencies if somebody gets into an accident, or did I mishear that?
No, you heard that correct. So on the fire trolley, you will have a red break glass and a green break glass.
Right, okay.
If you hit the green one, it'll come back to the office and it'll send a signal to one of us first aiders to go and assess the situation to see what further steps we need to take, whether it's minor or whether we have to cease all work to allow the emergency services to access safely.
That's fine. I think I misheard that when I was speaking.
I've got one more question. Being that I'm not from the UK, I've heard the word dumper and tipper before. Can you explain what the difference is, or if there is a difference at all between a dumper and a tipper, please?
No.
They
Quite simply.
use they use the dumper like a side dumper. The one is tipping in the front, and tipper will be the one tipping at the back.
Perfect. Thank you.
And
that's
guys,
a fair
it's not fair.
That's
we
a fair
was
question.
easy with you on the questions, yeah, and you guys fired so many back. It's not fair.
Anyway,
I'm not spending my money before you get dealt with.
You know. If it was,
Right.
if it was the second one,
Right, let me stop the